Name of the program is
Mike and Mindy.
Mike and Mindy. We, burning topics of the day. If you got a burning topic, just hit us up, and our staff will, will vet it. We'll vet the question.
We'll prepare.
We'll make sure that you are legit, because we don't just deal with any random people. No, we do not.
Actually, do you
we
ever
do.
listen to podcasts where every once in a while they do audience or listener questions?
Yes.
They're actually pretty good.
They are.
Yeah.
But we're putting our show into the hands of mere mortals.
That's true.
And we cannot have that. Mike and Mindy, tell our folks who you are and what you do.
My name's Mindy Flanagan. I am the founder and chief inspiration officer for Inspiring HR. We started in Richmond in 2007, and we provide HR support services to small businesses, those with less than 50 employees typically, who have no desire whatsoever to have a full-time HR function inside their walls.
There you go. All right.
We solve employee pain.
You solve employee pain because, and good HR work can save you pain.
Yes. Sometimes it's just good HR work that means just be kind to people.
Be kind to people.
Sometimes it's that simple. One of our core values.
Ma'am, always talk about Bob.
Oh, right. Not necessarily
not
the
your
Bob
Bob,
I'm married to.
but yes. we're going to touch on the Bob that you're married to.
We are.
Yes, we're going to touch on him.
My Bob was an excellent executive assistant today.
Right, but he was here the other day.
He was.
As part of the studio audience, and he was here, and he looked and saw, the workings of this massive operation.
He did. He sat in that corner.
He sat in the corner. He wanted to make sure, he was not on camera.
No, he did not want to be on camera.
But when you were leaving, the man gave you a compliment.
What did he say?
He said, Mindy, you're pretty good at this.
Oh, that's right. He did.
He did say that. I caught it.
Yeah.
Being, I keep my ear to the ground. And he realized you found your thing.
Oh, I love this thing.
I know you do.
I love this thing.
I know you do.
But part of that's credit to you. I love being in the same room with
Well,
you.
what we're doing, we're tackling tough topics of the day. And we are in a short week. We are in a short week, correct?
We are.
And
credit to you for opening up your mind enough for me to prove that HR can be done differently.
It can be done differently. It still is
a bummer.
No, you are the exception.
Thank you. I don't always have great things to tell people because I do have to tell the truth sometimes.
But truth sayers a lot of times catch heat.
Yes.
But now we're on this short work week.
We are.
And shout out to our friend Connie Hom of Buckingham Greenery, who says she has been doing 4-day work weeks for 20 years.
I mean, she was way early adopter.
Way early, because there are people now who do not think it will work. Let's get your idea and the HR perspective on the 4-day work week.
Well, I have a fresh perspective on this because
here we go.
Fast Company landed in my inbox this morning with their article about this 5-year study they've done on remote work across various industries, various size companies, all kinds of statistics I can't recite off the top of my head. But here was the main takeaway. In most positions across the spectrum of businesses that they studied, they found that for the companies that piloted the 4-day work week just for a year, out of every 100 companies, only 5 reverted back to the 5-day work week.
You can't.
Well, and
you can't put the genie back in the bottle.
Well, right, but they were surprised by what they found, and all these reports pointed towards employees really getting on board with the mentality sometimes that we force them to get on board with, which is do more with less. The 4-day work week almost had this baked-in incentive to be more innovative on your own, be more efficient on your own, get more done in less time because everyone was so excited for their extra day off. The other thing that I read, and you've talked about it, is you and I have talked about it, is in this hypercharged environment of always-on innovation with changes in technology all the time. One of the things this article admitted is that most people report that with the advancement of technology, their life has gotten more complicated, not simpler, which dictates this need for a 2-day weekend isn't enough for them to rest, relax, take care of family things, take care of personal errands. Like even today, I said Bob was an excellent executive assistant because I waited for him to be on summer break to say, I think we need to change cell phone carriers. And I, since January, have not been able to bake this into my week. So he took care of it for me today.
Your schedule is hectic. And I do take a little bit of joy in asking you to come to things. Hey, Mindy.
I have been saying yes to
you have
things
been.
if you give me more than 2 weeks notice. Not
Ma'am.
2 days. Like when you texted me this morning and you're like Thursday, I almost texted back and said Thursday meaning this week, and I almost.
But you did come back with some form of that, yes. And I came back with the retort that said, "I just found out about this." I'm just saying.
Actually, I think you pre-qualified it
because I know the answer is going to be no, but I don't want you to feel left out. So here, I know the answer is going to be no. But hey, would you like to come because this thing is happening?
And I really wish I could come because I love her. So the president of Richard Bland College
is going to be here.
Hi there.
She's going to be here.
She and I met years ago, and our common bond is she was the president of Onondaga Community College, where Onondaga County in New York is where I grew up. So when we first crossed paths, we already had the Syracuse Onondaga Community College connection. She went from there to Richard Bland. I think it's been 10 years. Okay. She was also the one that was in the chamber room post-COVID and looked at this entire room of decision makers, including board of supervisors and members and small business owners, and said, and I quote, I think I quote this correctly, "It will take us a generation to get over the damage COVID and not being in school did to our young people."
Did they think that she was...
I don't know if anybody took her seriously then, but I've repeated it time and time again because it sure keeps showing up.
It keeps showing up.
Yeah.
There is something about, so talking about the 4-day work week, there is something about being together. And for people who say, I work better at home or work better remote, okay, maybe you are the exception to the rule. And
I don't ever feel alone. Here, for example, I spent 2 hours on a Zoom today screen sharing on a complicated handbook that a treasurer at a nonprofit in Tennessee and his executive assistant in California, all three of us had a wonderful 2-hour collaborative session on eliminating, moving, modifying, making this handbook the thing they wanted it to be for the long term. I don't feel alone. I feel like I'm around people all day long. It's just using technology to do it. But I think you think that's alone because you're the type of person that likes being physically around people. You get energy from that.
For a while.
For a while, yes, until you hit your cap, and then
yes, my peopling it reaches its limit, and then But there, from a collaborative standpoint, from an energy, from I don't know what to call it, esprit de corps, from a cultural standpoint, having people in the room together, I think you get better results. Now, from an HR recruiting perspective, I get it. Mm-hmm. Because if our talent pool has to be within 30 miles so people can get here every day, we're not going to get the best and the brightest. We're going to get the ones that's most convenient.
True.
And
I mean, look, we have clients in Maryland who, sure, there's plenty of people in Northern Virginia that would probably like that job in Columbia, Maryland, but they don't want to sign up for that commute every day.
Right, because that plays a part in it.
Yeah.
So when you look at the barrier of the 4-day work week, back in the day that really, say 15 years ago or 20 years ago when Connie went 4-day, what do you think the drawback was then, and where are we with it now?
Well, like anything, there's always resistance to change, right?
Yes.
So I wish I remembered. I want to say the 5-day work week was invented like, I don't know, the 20s or the 30s. And just like everything, like we talked about last week, we've always done it this way.
We've always done it this way.
Right. But I think for the people who have successfully adopted 4-day work weeks, either they did a lot of analysis like we might do if we move in this direction, or they're like, like my gut tells me that we're going to get great things out of this. Let's just do it. Or let's just have a pilot period for 3 months. And then to the point the article made, people don't go back. But,
okay. So here, let's have a pilot.
Everybody can, right? If you think about it, let's just look traditional. I'm an orthodontist practice. We're open 5 days a week because that's the way we always do it. So I need a receptionist here 5 days a week. And I don't really, a lot of them have the appetite to say, well, how do we get creative? Like, okay, if we hire the receptionist or somebody at front office and we want to do a 4-day work week, but we're open 5 days, who backfills them on their 5 days? And then you start thinking about cross-training and creative staffing. And sometimes that's just too high of a barrier for people.
It is too high of a barrier. It is pushing uphill.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of times there are enough things that we have to do on a regular basis not to add that one to it.
Correct.
Because if you're on, and people talk to me a lot of times and think I may have a different perspective. There's no I in team. There is not. And people are trying to say, hey, well, you look here at the A. Guaranteed, if I don't do my I part, the team is going to be very, very, very mad at me because all of a sudden people have to pick up the slack.
Mm-hmm.
So for the team to work, the I part has to do their part.
Mm-hmm.
So when we look at that and we're saying, how do we as a team get the most out of everybody when everybody isn't in the room? So I understand you need to do laundry or you need to go work on your car or you need to go do those things.
Mm-hmm.
You're not all in when you're doing those other things. You're thinking about it. But now, on the other hand, I can't have you checking emails and doing spreadsheets and doing all the work things at 9:30 at night as well.
Mm-hmm.
So there has to be some balance. When it's just be 9 to 5 or 9 to 4, 8, or whatever your time is,
mm-hmm.
you're doing that during that time.
Mm-hmm.
The laundry, cooking dinner while you're over there multitasking,
mm-hmm.
that's something totally different.
Mm-hmm.
But when it's over, I'm not sending you an email at 7:30 or 8 o'clock at night expecting that you are going to respond.
But some of our clients do.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Which is why we have that wonderful feature on Outlook that says we might choose to be at our desk right now at 7:30 at night, but no one else really needs to know it. That's why you have that wonderful delay send feature.
I never knew about that thing until recently.
Yeah.
Because once I hit it, I'm sending it.
Well,
now, if you get it at 2 in the morning.
Yeah, but it's almost addictive. It's like a soccer game, right? I've done my part. If I kick it back to the other side of the field, I mean, that's how a lot of people treat their email inbox. I mean, sometimes it's obsessive. They may respond, and you're like, oh, it's 9 o'clock. They responded. Do I take the bait and respond back? Yes.
Yes, I'm going to.
I'm going to keep. I am guilty of this, but that's where delay send has become my ally.
So now we're to the point now where we can get a lot done in the 4-day work week. People are incented to do better because I don't know whether we do more now. Like, okay, well, I'm going to go with the parenting thing.
Mm-hmm.
Parents have to do a lot more than when I had my sons. They're 41 and 43.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't do all of these things to placate children the way that people have to do these days.
Well, I have additional thoughts on that, which could be a different conversation.
Which takes up a lot of time. The parents, and parents have to go to everything. And if you're not there, you're kind of frowned upon. So maybe
you know, like the state of California has mandated school appearances leave that you're supposed to include in your employee handbook. But again, that's California.
I've never heard. Okay, that is California.
Yeah.
And they're a little different. But
think about that. That's for the environments where they say, no, you can't go to that parent-teacher conference because we are going to nickel and dime you to death. Like, this is what makes me sad sometimes about these policies. That means a few people were ridiculous with how they were micromanaging or treating their employees, and somebody got the ear of a legislator, and it made its way to the floor to be voted on. And that's how the more liberal states. That's how some of those.
So the reasonable standard.
Reasonable person standard.
And it's not.
You can't blame the employee. What do we hear time and time again? Employees leave because of managers, not the company. So my question is, in some of these cases, which manager was the jerk that created the need for this policy to apply to everybody, even though most businesses didn't need it?
And so we're getting to the point. So that is the 4-day work week. And you touched on something that I had thought about during our conversation, which is the much maligned middle manager.
Oh, we always land on these poor people.
I don't care what industry, I don't care what it is, the middle manager is the sacrificial lamb.
Yeah, but I don't they add tremendous value. You're just not scoping their work properly or setting them up for success. They add tremendous value.
I don't care whether it's the military, I don't care whether it's sports, real life, business. A lot of times in the middle, it's like when in the medical field, when the doctor comes in and he gives you diagnosis and the whole family's standing around.
Mm-hmm.
And I did medicine in the Army for years.
Mm-hmm.
They come in, the doctor comes in, okay, Mr. Jones, this is what we saw. This is the course of treatment. He throws out some big words. We did the test. Everything came up, but we're kind of worried about this right here. We're going to give you, and he reaches into his pocket in the white jacket, the white coat. He writes a script. Mr. Jones, here you go. Folks, this is what we're going to do. And do you have any questions? And everyone is just in there. No, doctor. Thank you very much. You've been great. Thank you, doctor. He walks out. And the nurse is standing there.
And now there's lots of questions.
There's a ton of questions. There are a ton of questions. In that circumstance, in that instant right there, the nurse is the middle manager.
Correct.
And so what happens is...
they are the safer, softer landing spot for the reasonable person standard.
Right.
Because we have something that goes on really with Josh doctors, and my father told me a wonderful thing that I learned years ago, and until he said this, I felt this way. I can't bother this person. They're somehow better than me. Like, I don't really want to ask them a stupid question. So I'm going to tell them I'm fine. And then to your point, wait till I have the nurse.
Because I can go to her. And now she is in there for the next 30 minutes explaining what he just said. And there are 10 other questions.
Right.
So when they look at, but when they're doing budget cuts, the school teacher, there's a school board, there's the administration. Now there's the staff.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And now the staff has to, well, administratively from the board, they're saying this is what we're going to do. These are the cuts we're going to make. This is what we're going to do because our kids deserve the best. But we're slashing that program, slashing that program, slashing that program. Falls to the principal's level.
Mm-hmm.
They can't run this like little fiefdom.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to have to fall within the guidelines. And so they're going to make the cut. The one thing that happens with the teacher is on the ground knowing what's happening, knowing the benefits of it. What happens, here they are in Costco, in a dollar store, buying the things that they need for their kids out of their own pocket.
Yes, all the time now. Was unheard of when I was in public school a long time ago.
Yes. School was, parents, they're not sending, could you get these school supplies?
Yeah.
You're not sending, no.
I never had to buy 38 glue sticks. The teacher never had to buy me 38 glue sticks. I didn't need 38 glue sticks, but my parents maybe bought me pencils and spiral notebooks. That's it. No markers, no colored markers, no glue sticks, none of this stuff.
Trust me, when we went to this Trapper Keeper period, I'm like, okay, this is getting ridiculous, y'all. By
the way, if anyone at Target is listening, can we please enjoy at least half of summer before we put the school supply stuff out?
No, we got to get it. But now, getting back to middle managers,
yes,
that is the reason why when you have the reasonable person standard, we can't have that because the people at the top are not making reasonable decisions because those decisions are being driven by the bottom line.
I actually think they have the potential to be reasonable decisions. Have you explained to everybody that's supposed to be communicating on your behalf what to say to people and how to answer their questions? If you keep the middle managers in the dark on exactly why these decisions were made, let's just suppose you have a company where everyone is rowing in the same direction, loves the company, loves the brand, and you have to tell them something hard. If the person up top decided that something needed to be slashed and people are going to be upset about it, how are you going to empower the middle managers to explain it in a way that it is accurate and not disruptive and kind to your current team? They're actually more resilient than you give them credit for. Stop trying to sugarcoat it, tell them the truth, and explain to them as reasonable people why this change is being made. I just think a lot of this is communication breakdown. And when there's communication breakdown, who gets blamed for not messaging it properly? The middle manager who wasn't given the full story in the first place. I think that's
because the story was cooked up and at the C-suite level. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And as we talked about, sometimes people can get excited. It can be excitable there. We're trying to figure out how to deliver bad news. So the whole message was there. And when we take that message and then we go down to the floor to talk to the managers, instead of the person who is the best at delivering that information, maybe they send someone else, or they try and give it to the managers how to best tell your people. And then they disappear and go back up and they tell us on the way out, we had the open door policy. But we're not going there. We're not asking the doctor because when I ask the doctor the question, if he comes across wrong, he may think I'm an idiot because he's thrown together a bunch of big words and are hyphenated and all those things. So I'll wait to the person who's compassionate, which is a nurse. And so, excuse me, could you explain? And she gets trained. Everybody's shaking their head like, so that's what he meant. So that's what she meant.
Right.
So the idea of empowering middle managers, and you do that because the structure at the top has to be secure in the communication. And when communication skills break down, People fill in the blanks themselves.
I was listening to a podcast today about people asking all kinds of questions about, given where we're headed with the cost of college and where we might head with technology and AI, what are still the things, if we're going to college or even doing something vocational, what are the things that we still study that will give us an edge going forward? And they said diversity of what you study, but this particular podcast, it was Pivot, Scott Galloway and Kara Swisher.
Two different thinkers.
Yes, they are. But Scott very much believes that when you dial into being a great storyteller and a great communicator, you can stand out in almost any profession, regardless of where we head with technology. So,
because you can get people all on board. I'd never dealt, shout out to my man Will Melton, I'd never dealt with AI before. I hadn't ChatGPT.
Did you play with it on your own, or did you have a co-pilot when you first started?
He told me and showed me that said I was the most influential business personality.
He's the one that told you to query that.
And I'm like,
prompt that.
I love this thing. Where have you been all my life?
That was chat.
Yes. I'm like, okay, hey, it's not me saying ChatGPT is saying it. So now I run a lot of things through that. I do more with it. And we're worried about, but you're not worried about it taking over for young folks. You're like, okay, and so, ma'am, you're a little bit different there. But the idea of it is we can let young people use it because people are going to use it. Older people, everyone's going to use it or are using it. But defend the information and tell us whether you know it or not. ChatGPT, AI can't give that to you.
It's a thought partner. It is not the end all be all to landing on the right decision. It is a thought partner. It is a creative thought partner.
There you go, folks. The name of the program is
Mike and Mindy.
Mike and Mindy coming to you Friday, 6:30 a.m. ESPN Richard Mike King Biz Radio. Ma'am?
Wait, middle manager.
Middle manager.
You always lean on them to tell the bad things. Why are we not leaning on them to tell the good things?
Come on, man. What were you? There's a saying.
Back to the 4-day work week. Let's say you actually thought this through with intention. You pilot it. Everything looks good. This department was getting a 4-day work week. Now the whole company gets a 4-day work week. If you have good executive leadership and good HR, with HR hopefully a member of that executive leadership, there will be all kinds of structure built around what that 4-day work week rollout period will look like. Okay. But this is a great thing, right? HR, yeah, you can go ahead and put the message together on what everybody needs to know and why you're so happy to do this. But please don't be the person that walks into the room. Please give the frontline managers, the ones that have the day-to-day relationship with these employees, put them in a position to communicate that. They need as many wins as possible. HR is supposed to be behind the scenes telling us how to communicate stuff, not do it for the manager.
Okay, ma'am.
Right direction there?
Yes.
Yeah.
But now
Now he's going to tell me I'm not living in reality.
You're not living in reality. You know that saying that says that you were born at night, but not last night?
Yeah.
You were born last night with that idea. So here you go.
I'm a little idealistic. What can I say?
You are. You know what? Okay, so here we are. We have bad news to deliver. It is cooked up on the 3rd floor, the C-suite level. Okay, this is how we're going to package it and deliver it to the troops.
Okay.
We, at that level, for the most part, are not delivering the news wholeheartedly. It has come down through a directive,
Okay.
And it comes down and flows down to the masses. This is the new direction that we're taking.
So that, in that instance, the executive leadership team believes in, because I said so, and it is what it is.
And we're hiding.
And that's how it rolls down.
And we're hiding behind a hill. Okay. Instant number 1. We got great news.
Okay.
We are not letting those middle managers deliver good news.
Why?
Oh, no.
And they shouldn't be in a management position.
We, ma'am, are going down there. I got my top hat on. I got an ascot. I am there telling people, This is what we're doing for you guys. You guys have been fantastic, but this is what it is. The good news is taken up by the people at the C-suite level because they want folks to know we're here working for you. This is a great place to be, and we've done all these things for you. It is like when a person says, I don't mean to offend you. Whereas my mother would say, when somebody says something and then they say, but, you can forget the stuff before the but.
My favorite is, you know me, I like to give it straight. And I'm like, are you just trying to be a jerk? Like, is this supposed to be some kind of bumper sticker that says it's okay to be a jerk?
Because a lot of people, my wife is like, she can take people giving things to her.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe it's an Aquarius thing. You guys got that. And plus, when you guys get upset, you start cleaning. Yes,
that's true.
That is, oh, man, please.
No better therapy than
there is. Okay. But now when there is something that is hard news, they send the middle managers down to do it because a lot of the back and forth of what's going to happen, the implications that this thing is going to have are going to go back to the middle manager. And the middle manager is going to try and go uphill with it, but there's dissension in the troops.
Do you have an organization where they could go uphill? So let's say the bad news situation, because I've seen this. The middle managers with, let's just assume, good relationships with everybody that reports to them. Whether it's a group or individually, we tell them the bad news and we answer as many questions as we can. And when the employee laments and complains and says, how could they do this? The middle manager can only say, I know, I get it.
I know, I get it.
I know, I get it. It negatively affects me as much as it affects you. But I don't know what else to tell you. And usually I don't know what else to tell you is assigned to employees that as much as we say it's an open door, the middle manager really does care, but nobody cares what the middle manager has to say about them. So,
and
that is a shame. That is a breakdown in the hierarchy of how good information and bad information is supposed to be up and down, but everyone's still rowing in the same direction.
The one thing about you that is different, you do invite dissension and questioning your...
Please question it. I got nothing
A lot
to
of
hide.
people cannot.
Yeah.
They cannot have it.
Even
So
an instance where I said, this isn't up for debate, I already made the decision. You can ask me questions in a private setting, and I will further explain to you why I made the decision I did.
that is truly an open door policy. No one has you go into an organization and says, folks, we'd like to thank you guys for coming here, blah, 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 blah. You know, as you may know, a lot of places have open door policies, but that is not how it is here. We have a closed door policy.
Mm-hmm.
We don't invite that.
Yeah.
And then how long do people last? So the program, Mike and Mindy tackling the tough questions of the day. We're the champions out there for you, for the young people as well. Me people. For the middle manager guy who, you know, he's sent into war, you know, like, you know, Goober, or, you know, no, he's not Goober.
Are you listening to the Richmond Leadership Lab podcast?
No, I have not. So
Kyle from Ballast Consulting was the guest last week.
Oh, wait a second. That's
Christians and
yes. Okay, yes.
Podcast.
Those are two young thought leaders.
Yes, they are two young thought leaders with another young thought leader that they interviewed last week, Kyle from Ballast Consulting. Now, I've had the pleasure of getting to know Ballast, but since you brought up the young people, Kyle is almost 20 years, probably 16, I don't know, 15, 16 years younger than me. What a bright light, both him and Jack Allen, just a bright light of let these younger leaders take over. I mean, there were so many great things he said in this podcast that resonated with me from an HR perspective and a leadership perspective in terms of building great culture. And it starts with being an authentic leader and doing a lot of the things you and I have talked about. But I hear Kyle and I'm like, let these young people take over. They know how to care for people and get things done at the same time and be on an even playing field with all the people that decide to rally behind them. I was just blown away.
It makes you feel good.
It does.
That we're in a good place. Yeah. All right, so Mike is here, Mindy's here. How can people get information about Inspiring HR?
Please go to inspiringhr.com, fill out our Contact Us page. We'll reach back out to you to see what you would like to talk about. You can actually get more serious and fill out schedule an introductory call and give us a test drive for free. First 45 minutes, always free. You'll speak to myself for Valerie Juarez. She's located in the Colorado area. Follow us on LinkedIn. Connect with me on LinkedIn, or you can go old school, 804-715-1920.
I used to call Mindy the HR whisperer.
Yeah, not
On the mic with Mike, RBA is the best business radio program.
That is not Mindy Flanagan.
No. And now we're mic'd up.
We are mic'd up. So your guy is happy. Hopefully we get, you know, approval ratings have gone up from your tech team.
We shall see. Landscape recording, mic'd up. We're good.
Who knows where this thing is going. ESPN, here we come. Mike and Mindy. We'll talk to you soon. Thanks, now, folks. Bye.